Hi everyone, I'm Walter.
And I'm Sam.
Welcome to Unit 11, Daughter Care. So we're going to talk about a situation of Korean housewives today, but not just Korean housewives, housewives all over the world. Traditionally, it was sort of the housewife's duty to look after the elderly, not just in their, immediate family, but also their extended family as well. So they're bearing the brunt of having to do some house chores, taking somebody somewhere, doing tasks for other people.
Bear the brunt.
Bear the brunt. So this can be quite difficult, and now in today's society, the economic situation is not good. With hyperinflation, it's becoming more and more difficult for the daughters not just to financially support them, but also, mentally support someone.
Hyperinflation.
Hyperinflation.
Korean women actually lament the fact that they are expected to fulfill this responsibility of taking care of the elderly, especially if they are not married and don't have children, which is incredibly unfair. And there's been a term coined for this, which is daughter care, the title of this unit. Lament.
Lament.
I know in a recent, last year, there was an article that said the best long-term medical insurance or medical plan in the US at that time was to have a conscientious daughter, which I think is incredibly unfair.
Conscientious.
Conscientious.
We are also noticing massive changes within society, especially here in Korea and Japan, with a low birth rate that we say. So what kind of impact do you think the Korean aging population will have in the future?
Right, well you mentioned Japan, and Japan have already kind of started to go through this. So what we've seen there is that the elderly are coming out of retirement to fill positions that younger people no longer want to fill, or we don't have the numbers to fill. So that's one impact that will probably happen in South Korea in the long term.
I definitely agree as well. I know that we're starting to hire more people from abroad to do jobs that maybe Koreans could do, but we just don't have enough population.
Exactly.
I know that, as we mentioned before, in Japan, simple jobs such as working in customer service aren't considered quite good jobs in Japan anymore. So they're outsourcing it to other countries using working visas, etc. To talk more about the elderly though, do you enjoy spending some time around the elderly or your family?
Yeah. So my grandmother is, on my dad's side, is probably the one who I spend the most time with. And she's great, she's a laugh. She's very free spirit for her age. I think typically we think the elderly become a bit conservative, but she's a bit of an exception. She's healthy, she's in her late 80s now.
Oh wow.
But she's always fun to be around. Yeah, what about yourself?
I do have some uncles and aunties who are within their early 70s, mid 70s, and whenever I jump back to Australia, I do like to try and spend as much time with them. They've always been very supportive of me and my move back here to Korea, so I do enjoy them even though the generation gap is extreme. We still have a lot of things in common, and there's a lot of things we can talk about. Anyway, that wraps it up for our preview section, and we will see you on the review section.